You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 159. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart, sacrificial Mayan maiden.
Wow.
Yeah, you had no idea, did you?
Never. Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show, plus many other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Ultimate Facepalm at rhymeswithgeek.com. Comic Reflections is also a part of BackIssueHeroes.com, the home of classic comics on the web. And if you enjoy our program, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, our first one's up is Snake Eyes.
Well, hang on.
Tales of Ghost Castle.
Yeah. Tales of Ghost Castle number 2, and this series only ran 3 issues. And the thing is, in the 70s, horror comics became a big thing again. And DC had so many of these books. This is a case of they went to the well one too many times. Mm-hmm. Because they had House of Secrets, House of Mystery, Ghosts, The Unexpected, Weird War Tales, and several others. And they're trying to do another one too, and it just didn't take off. But these are pretty good. I mean, all of those books are pretty interchangeable with each other. It's just one book too many, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, the lead story in this is called Snake Eyes. And it was written by Robert Conagher, with beautiful art by E.R. Cruz, and I've seen him do stuff for for DC, and also Warren in Creepy and Eerie. So
that's really cool. So what we have here is a red-headed herpetologist gets her jollies playing with poisonous snakes and irritating them and making them mad. And,
weird.
Yeah, man. Well, we have this wonderful splash page with the creepy narrator and a big glass box of different types of poisonous snakes, which I would think they're keeping separate.
Yeah, you would think that some of them might bite and kill each other, but whatever, it's a comic book.
Right.
And it looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
And these are huge snakes. Mm-hmm. So.
And different colored, and so she really likes irritating them and gets her jollies off. It's kind of weird. But she's laughing maniacally, and
there's one really big snake that she likes pissing off a lot too.
The Bushmaster, I think.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, that's her nemesis, I guess.
Okay.
And I read this book in my old library in NC State, How to Raise Poison Snakes for Fun and Profit. And they were just going through, and these super realistic photos just kind of creeped me out. I'm not as afraid of snakes, but I don't particularly like them. But,
sure.
And, cobras and rattlesnakes and all this. And they come to the black mama and says, this is too dangerous. Man, that must be a heck of a snake if you can raise cobras and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
But the black mama supposedly is too fast and mean and clever. So, wow.
Yeah. Kerry King, the guitarist from Slayer, he and his wife raise snakes for fun and profit. Mm-hmm. As a side thing from his Slayer money, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It takes all kinds in the rock and roll world.
Yeah.
All right. So she's got our protagonist has this boyfriend, and but she prefers the snakes. And yeah, Freud wasn't around to comment about this. But he has invented some kind of elixir that will fix poisonous bites. Although I think they already have them, but maybe it's a universal antidote.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, she gets bit by the big, huge snake.
And then who gets out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's important.
Yeah, and
she just drinks the elixir.
Yeah,
and it turns her into a snake.
And her boyfriend comes back, finds her as a snake, and puts her into the snake exhibit, and she gets eaten up by the other snakes. And it's a horrifying end. So you shouldn't play with snakes.
Or shouldn't try to, torture animals, get them all riled up just for the hell of it.
Yeah. The problem is what happened to the first snake? He got
out.
There's a very dangerous, big, fat Bushmaster around. So,
maybe they'll find it.
Yeah, she came to a bad end.
Mhm.
The creepy narrator he's got his hands like a rat or something like
Yeah.
that. Oh, he's enjoying himself.
Yes. So the next story, and I've heard about this story. It has a reputation, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Reputation of what?
of being real cool.
Oh, okay.
And it's called The Inheritors, and it was written by Jack Olick, with beautiful art by the great Alex Nino,
Yeah.
who we've seen some of his stuff before.
Yeah, he draws really thin people, but it's super cool. It's
Yeah.
just very well done.
Another guy that I was introduced to through their work on Creepy and Eerie. I had a big old box of issues of Creepy and Eerie, and I loved those. And so
Yeah.
a lot of artists I discovered from that.
He draws space age material well, and the
Yeah.
ships look cool, the guns look cool, the outfits look cool, the monsters look cool, everything looks cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good. It's a comic book. We don't want things to look boring.
right, and they often do. But man, this is really, really well done.
Yeah.
Man. All right, so Earth has been in um, your average nuclear war, and so the people left, and now 2,000 years they come back, and they're going to humans are coming back to Earth to settle.
To reclaim it.
Yeah,
And they find all these crazy post-apocalyptic mutants.
yeah, and they try to make nice with them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
They really try to be peaceful, but it doesn't get it, so they exterminate them.
Yeah.
And the captain's really nice. And
He
they
hates
mention-
doing it.
Yeah, and he said it's and they mentioned this, how ironic this is. So,
Yeah.
but it's they fight and fight, and finally they exterminate. So hey, let's take a bath, and they take and go into the lake, and takes off his clothes, and he's green with fins.
Yeah, like wherever they had been, their human race had been for the last 2,000 years, they had developed some other adaptations, and they weren't the same as when they'd left.
Yeah, so they weren't much different from the people they exterminated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the story.
Yeah.
Super well
It's,
done.
I mean, and it's like, oh, it's really beautiful. I mean, I wish that story went on for a few more pages, really.
I for a few more issues. So that
Wow.
was good to go, man. I love
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it probably, that kind of concept would make a nice limited series.
Mhm.
And these days, that kind of story does get to fleshed out into things like that.
Mhm.
But-
the end was kind of meh, but he's a monster too.
But the
Oh,
monsters were so neat looking, and the spaceships and the
Mhm.
science fiction, it was great. So the third and last story in this issue is called The Fate of the Fortune Hunter. It was written by Mal Warwick, with really lovely art by Ruben Yandok.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
seen this guy's art before.
Yeah, very nice. The same old story, fortune hunters. I think they're one of those go-to villains.
Yeah.
Nazis, fortune hunters. I don't know what.
I think
street pimps.
I think these guys are
gangsters.
commie fortune hunters also.
No, they're Nazi.
Oh, is that what they are?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Goes. All right, so they're trying to look for ink and gold, and they beat and shoot everybody who doesn't help them. So this old guy, is supposedly the one who will lead them to the gold.
Hmm.
So they take his son as hostage, and they come out. They have a travel.
I think it's his grandson.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go down. And they go underneath a waterfall, which is pretty cool.
And there's huge subterranean caves.
Hmm. They find the pyramid, and see there's a
Oh, I didn't see that.
there's a
Swastika tattoo on one of the guys. I didn't realize.
yeah. It's silly telling you he's a bad guy.
Oh, right.
So they find the place, and then one of the bad guys with a Nazi tattoo shoots the old guy, and they keep on going, and they get captured by the Incans, who
are still alive in this ancient subterranean world.
and they're put to work as slaves digging gold.
Yeah, the Nazis. So, they
Yeah.
thought they were going to get all the gold, but no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The fortune hunters, I'm tired of. I'm tired of a lot of villains.
What interesting thing was that the grandson was the long lost king of the Incas or whatever, and so he became the ruler. Remember? It's in the story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. I'll be darned. Okay. Well. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Hey,
anyway,
all right. So we go to lesser things.
lesser things. Okay, yes, we have Tales of the Unexpected, number 95. This is a Silver Age book. What's it?
Mhm.
What years say on the indicia there?
1966.
Nice, yeah. And the lead story is called The Secret of Cameleo Man, with art by Joe Certa. And yeah,
Yeah, man. What bad name. Bad superpowers, and you get turned into a wacky monster whenever you're needed to be. Your help is needed. We have this. The protagonist is being mysteriously called to fight these creatures, and he's turned into a good monster.
to fight bad monsters
Right. And,
all over the place.
yeah, and he's confused as what's going on, and it turns out he's in a cartoon. So
Yeah. But I think there's some cool and interesting monsters and some feats that he has to perform, which made this a fun story.
I thought it was. I was confused and it was kind of episodic, so it wasn't as fun for me. Some of the monsters are sad and goofy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the purple six arm thing is kind of weird and just sad. And he's a dinosaur and he's fighting this three-headed horse, and then he's a turtle and a hawk and a lobster and sort of
Okay, so you didn't like it.
no.
I thought it was
So,
kind of fun, but yeah. Anyway,
yeah. Alright, it wasn't, but yeah. So he's in a cartoon show. So I guess
he's a
show.
cartoon character. He didn't that became self-aware or something.
Right.
So, but
Okay.
the second story in this issue, I think, is more traditional cool. I think it's Jeff like it more probably. It's called The Blackout Beast, and I know you'll at least like the art, Jeff, because it's by Jack Sparling, the guy who did Mighty Samson.
Oh, not bad. He knows how to draw women too.
Yeah, I've grown to have an appreciation for Jack Sparling. Like, some of his stuff is just kind of weird and loose and scratchy looking, but yeah, he draws gals good, and he's good with adventure and action, and I don't know. The man had talent.
Okay. We have in this story we have Jeff Wallace and his fiancee Kathy Haynes. Kathy Haynes is a good-looking gal, but she thinks that Jeff has no life. He's just cold.
Yeah,
And all he is science and no romance, whatever.
like Reed Richards.
Yeah, or me. So they're in this museum and they're looking at, let's see, a god of light and a demon of darkness. And ironically, the lights go out. And the monster, the demon of darkness, gets out and starts raising Cain. And
Now the demon of darkness is like a buffalo that walks on its hind legs.
yeah,
That's what it looks like. But it sounds stupid, but it actually looks really cool.
yeah, not bad. And
And it likes to destroy sources of light because that's harmful to it or something.
He's a demon of darkness. He doesn't like light.
Yeah.
And let's see, and shooting him don't help. Man, guns are useless in comic books.
Yeah.
Let's see. And the lights come back on, but it doesn't do anything. It just makes the buffalo god angry. And so
I just had the funniest thought.
what?
Like, what if the Punisher had been a Silver Age character? He'd be the most worthless guy ever. Because
Yeah.
all he does is just blow people away.
Right.
But bullets are useless against it.
Yeah.
That happens in every story. So,
Oh,
yeah.
what would you do? Yeah.
The Punisher would be like the worst character ever.
Yeah.
Some people argue that he is. Not me, I like him, but
Yeah,
But
a bunch of people who do them. Okay, so Jeff figures out that the statue, the god of light, will destroy the monster, and it does. And his girlfriend likes him again. She's got a weird thing.
like
Her
a
hair,
Lana, was it Lana
Lana Turner.
Turner?
Yeah,
Who did
very good. Thank you.
hair over the eye thing? Yeah,
Yeah, and wow.
yeah.
But she likes him now. So,
One of her coolest, the only Lana Turner movie that I think I've ever seen was one of her. I think her last movie ever. She was older, and it was about like Nazis and like the end. She was a scientist creating maggots, flesh-eating maggots, and like Hitler was the villain, the secret villain in the end, and she killed Hitler with maggots.
oh, was it? They saved Hitler's brain.
No, it's called like Flesh Feast. I think that's what it is.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
bad movie, but awesomely bad. Like one of those,
Yeah.
like, yes, seek it out, because it's so weird. But it has like one of the greatest ending scenes in the history of motion pictures. So
But definitely the hair over the eye is kind of cool looking.
yeah,
Oh, we got an in-house ad for Scooter.
yeah. Remember Scooter?
Yeah, man, I wish I could forget. Man, they really, really tried to get Scooter popular. I mean,
I think they did, and it lasted a while.
Yeah, but man, they did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of.
I mean, yeah, there was house ads earlier that was just like a tiny thing at the bottom of the page. This is a huge full-page ad.
And a quarter page or a third of a page, which has a stupid poem. Instead of cat suffocating in Squaresville, I have moved to the wide open Airsville because those mags from DC has set me off on a spree. It's strictly from none can comparesville.
And it's so weird because DC's trying really hard to be hip, but it's like these middle-aged guys and they're so square. It just rings so false, you know?
You can't. You're either hip or you're not. You cannot try to be hip.
Yeah.
That fails miserably. Although sometimes if people can fake it, and there's
Sure, but
I don't know what the secret of that
but
is.
what I like about DC is they are so square.
Me too.
And I like the hipness of Marvel because it's so effortless, or at least it seems
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
And the squareness of DC is kind of great.
Right.
And I like them being that way.
Yeah. And I think having two different houses so different is good, and you don't get bored. I've never been. I like one of the houses over the others in different times. Silver Age, or my Golden Age with Jimmy Olsen and all that. I prefer DC. When later on in the rest of the Silver Age, I prefer Marvel. In the 80s, I don't care. In the 90s, I don't know. After that, I really don't care. So I think they're about interchangeable now. There's not much difference.
I think they kind of go back and forth, you know, as far as one really being a leader and the other one kind of like lagging behind. DC at present, oh man, I'm just so disappointed because they're a company that I love so much. I love their characters, but Marvel's about to disappoint me again because they're rebooting. Or they're calling it not a reboot, but they're just gonna mess everything up.
I heard that Lady Thor is failing. I think it's about
I haven't heard that, but
I heard it's about the sales about a third of what it used to be.
well, it's possible. But here's the thing: that Lady Thor or the Falcon as Captain America, those things are temporary anyway.
Yeah, the thing is,
And you got to change it up sometimes.
They're stunts, and
They are.
and I don't like. You can have a big thing, but it doesn't have to be a stunt. And when you start as a stunt, it's going to remain a stunt, and people know it's a stunt.
Right, it's just like
it's not going to work.
You know, it's like instead of making Thor a woman or making Captain America a black guy now, why not give the Falcon a higher profile, make him a bigger deal?
Right.
Why not have a new female superhero who's a big deal? You know, put a good creative
Lady
team
Sif
on it.
is very interesting. I always like watching her. Give her more to do.
Exactly, and there was the Valkyrie who was in the Defenders. There's another Asgardian heroine.
Why not?
Why not bring her back and make her a bigger deal? You know,
Yeah.
we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm open to new things, but come on, do something that's genuine.
Yeah, or make a new character that's interesting, and
Yeah.
just
You know.
It just, oh god, it's so bad. But yeah,
Anyway,
these scooters suck.
well,
Man, that was
tangent.
bad.
Uh,
Yeah.
so let's talk about this next story. It's I was a prisoner of death, and it is kind of subtitled "A Green Glob Adventure."
That confused me.
I had to look up what the heck the Green Glob was, and apparently it is a lesser-known creation of the Guardians of the Universe. You know, the guys who give the Green Lanterns the rings. And the Green Glob is an entity that kind of goes around and teaches very specific lessons to certain individuals. And that's the whole premise of these Green Glob adventures. Now, let me give the credits for this. With art by Bernard Bailey. None of these had writing credits, and that was, typical of DC's record keeping in the past. But
And you must not really give a damn. For crying out. You have a guy write a small book, and this is what a comic book is. It's a small illustrated book. And you don't write down their name.
yeah.
It's somewhere, or there's got to be
Well, DC always lagged behind the times, and I feel like they, and I know this for a fact, in-house editorially, a lot of them were so like, look, this is crap we make for kids, and they cycle through, we have a new audience every 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were right until TV came along.
Yeah.
And then the audience got smaller.
But the audience that stayed is like, yes, we want more continuity, greater carrying over stories.
But the thing is, if someone paints my house, I know who it is,
Yeah.
and I write a check, and they write checks to them, so there must be some.
Well, they know, but they just didn't say, "Oh, this issue and this."
But a lot of times you cannot find out. You can't.
No, you can't because they didn't make records, or they're so buried somewhere, like those documents where they paid him a check for a story, maybe it wasn't specified.
No.
Later, that obviously, but there are a lot of things that go uncredited.
Yeah.
So.
And crediting, I can understand that. Not crediting, it's stupid, but I can see where they're coming from. But not keeping some kind of records or something like that or keeping them around it's absurd for a business.
You would think.
Okay.
So.
All right. So the Green Glob comes around this guy who wants to be immortal, and so he finds this ancient artifact and he drinks. But the Green Glob makes it work. I don't think it would have worked without it.
Right.
So, it works, but he doesn't feel any different, so he goes out and, this building's about to fall down, and he saves a worker who's about to die.
Yeah.
And then
it makes him basically invulnerable, too.
Yeah, he's invulnerable. He saves a plane crash. He saves some people. And really
in a waterfall and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, because Death has been stalking him this whole time, he realizes, or Death tells him, that those accidents were happening because his time needed to come. He was supposed to die.
Yeah.
And so accidents kept happening around him. And so he realized, he says he needed to give up his immortality because he was putting other people in danger, in harm's way. It wasn't that he was becoming a hero. It's just there were consequences to his actions or his selfish deed. Right. And so he had to give it up. And that was a lesson the Green Glob taught him. And he fought, and he had a fight with Death.
Yeah,
and Death looks cool.
Yeah, I would not want to see that guy.
Yeah, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, so the next comic we've got to talk about is Tarzan number 242. Wasn't the 242nd issue DC did, but they carried over once DC got the rights from the Edgar Rice Burroughs people. They continued the numbering from that Dell and Gold Key had previously. So. But yeah, this is Tarzan number 242, and the story contained therein is Tarzan and the Castaways, Part 3, Mayan Sacrifice, written and drawn, or adapted by Joe Kubert and drawn by Joe Kubert. Excuse me, Kubert did the layouts, because look, it doesn't look like Kubert at all. But the penciled and inked work was by Frank Reyes.
Yeah. Very well drawn, really cool. And all right, Tarzan saving the sacrificial Mayan girl, who is nicely drawn. And it shows the Mayan warriors using obsidian swords. wooden swords with the bits of obsidian, which is super sharp and
In the
hard.
blade, like
blade,
jammed in the
which
side.
is exactly what they did.
I know, but isn't that really cool?
That is cool.
It would hurt like hell to get
Yeah.
hit with that.
It's historically accurate and cool, and I wish more people would do this.
And
This
and
makes a lot
kudos,
more-
because you know that's straight from Burroughs.
Yeah, I think Burroughs is an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
So, I think I only read one Tarzan, and I think it was the first one, I believe. But it's been so very, very long ago.
Yeah, I mean, there are 24 Tarzan novels. I have read 0 of them. I think that's
Mhm.
right. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so he's being chased by the Mayans. He gets away. This all started. He was on the ship going to, I guess, Central America, and is taken over by mutineers, and they crashed. And Tarzan saved everybody, and now he's going off of food. And he finds the maiden and rescues her. And so now we see 2 other survivors, and they're old Englishmen type guys, and they get attacked by a tiger. And Tarzan comes and saves them. So,
Yeah. And then there's these jerkwad mutineers who try to steal the women folk,
Mm-hmm.
and the implications are rather slimy.
Yeah. They're not going to. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not just looking to play patty cake.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out, there's a cool house ad for DC had these giant family books, like Superman family, Super Team family, Batman family, and Tarzan family. And these are, I think they're 52-page giants. And these are, multi-story books.
Yeah. Oh, it has Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, and Man-Bat.
Yeah, in Batman family, yeah. And the Tarzan family has Korak and so on.
John Carter. Cool.
Yeah.
Man, I wouldn't mind seeing those.
Yeah. Maybe we will.
Yeah.
I know we got some John Carter, some DC John Carter soon. So, but anyway, Tarzan and the Maiden come back.
Yeah. Tarzan comes back and kills the tiger, bothering those guys with his bare hands.
Man, and this is cool. The fight with the tiger is great. And it's such a big animal.
Mm-hmm. Probably weighs 3-4 times his weight. So.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's these animals that were on the ship, and like orangutans and elephants and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the tiger as well was escaped from the ship.
Perhaps, yeah.
So Tarzan, I almost said Superman. Tarzan gets his elephant, and the people give those other people a ride.
Yeah.
And they come back, and the mutineers are all scared, and they run away. And so then we get the origin of the Mayans, because they escaped. No, they came from original Mayan country in the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah.
And they took some ships out, and then they got stuck on an island, and then they made their civilization. So, that's the only reason I want to go to Mexico to see the pyramids.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I mean, there's some cool stuff in Mexico, but that's the only thing that really interests me. Yeah, I got the whole world to go to. So,
Right?
So, okay, so we have one of the girls. She's a blonde, so
Yeah.
represents Western civilization, I guess.
Yeah.
She stupidly goes out in the woods and gets attacked by hyenas and other kind of dogs. So, and then the story ends. I think one of the problems with this, and I might be totally wrong,
Okay.
is that it's not a comic book. It's a comic strip put into a comic book. Because one of the letters in there was talking about that.
Well, I know that they had done issues that reprinted the Russ Manning strips, but this is original to DC Comics. So this isn't a comic strip reformatted into a comic book.
Oh, okay.
So the letter you read is probably referring to another issue, maybe a 100-page super spectacular, something like that. But anyway,
Yeah, okay. Well, they didn't say anything about that. So.
yeah. But yeah, this also is a serialized adaptation of a book, and that's it works in comics, but it's kind of odd. There is a one-page filler that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's called Fantastic Creatures of Edgar Rice Burroughs,
Mm-hmm.
and with really neat art by a fella named Neil MacDonald, and it talks about several other fantastical creatures from Edgar Rice Burroughs' imagination.
It is super awesome.
Yeah.
Stories from let's see, creatures showing these fantastic creatures of Edgar Rice Burroughs. Zaldar, I guess, is on the moon. Let's see, Khazar, Martians. Oh, excuse me, on Mars. Martians use Khazar as hunting dogs. They're parrot dogs.
Yeah.
Kind of awesome looking. And Zangan is kind of beast man. So they're kind of the most boring. But
Yeah.
they're cannibalistic, so that makes them kind of cool. So,
Okay.
But these creatures, the Zaldars, look like they're the beef creatures, and they make beef from them. So,
Oh, okay.
and they're pretty cool looking. So
Right
really
on.
neato kino, man.
All right. So the last comic we've got to talk about for this episode is Pep number 326. It's Archie Comics, yay! And I had a lot.
Why Pep?
I don't know. The title originated back in the Golden Age, so we'd have to ask some like 100-year-old grandpa why he decided to name it that.
Yeah.
I know that's not a very nice way to put that, but
Yeah, it is. But it's interesting that I thought it was Archie.
yeah. Well, it is an Archie comic, but
Yeah.
on the indicia it's Pep. So I couldn't. This issue is not indexed on comics.org, so I have no credits. So I'll just give the story titles and we'll talk about them. And the lead story is called Failsafe.
Huh. I don't know what the title has to do with anything in this book.
No?
I'm not. Yeah, maybe I don't know what a failsafe is. Huh. All right. Okay. Archie asks Veronica to watch TV with him. Reggie asks her to the movies, so Veronica follows the money and goes with Reggie. That really ticks off Archie.
Mm-hmm.
Betty is nice enough to offer Archie a home-cooked meal. So Archie's going to use that to make Veronica jealous.
Mm.
And,
Bad morals, Archie.
yeah. And Betty, you can do better.
Yeah.
Jughead's better than Archie.
Yeah, in a way.
Although Archie's usually not so bad. I mean,
What was... gosh, this made me think of... what's the name of that character from the Catholic comics Treasure Chest? Chuck. Oh, listeners, help me.
Woolery. I don't know.
Not Chuck Woolery, but anyway, Chuck and his friends. He was like this wholesome kid, and he had
Yeah.
nice adventures, stopping people with, and it was a nice moral
Right.
like thing because it was a comic that was distributed exclusively in Catholic schools.
Yeah.
But it's actually not a bad comic, Treasure Chest.
Mhm.
I read a couple issues, but yeah, Chuck something and his pals. But anyway, it makes me think of this, and I'm like, why doesn't Archie, like actually just do the right thing?
Yeah. And marry that girl. Man.
Well,
I
but
mean-
often Archie, nobody in the character is in Archie comics is like an upstanding moral kid. There's like so much conniving and not doing the right thing.
Moose's girlfriend, she seems nice.
Midge,
Yeah.
but she's such a supporting character. She doesn't really do
Oh
much.
yeah. With them, I think Betty's nice. I mean, she's trying to get a man, and she doesn't. I don't know. She doesn't do anything really evil like Veronica. But maybe I'm just a Betty man. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't blame you. Betty is great. So anyway,
Yeah. So
Chuck White and his friends. Yeah. Anyway,
So okay, Archie tells Veronica that what he's doing. Jughead listens in, and so
he says, "I'm going to show up and get fed."
Yeah. So Archie says, "Get lost, Jughead." So, and Jughead wants to watch. His TV's out, so he wants to watch the 6 o'clock news, which is utterly astounding to me that Jughead watches the news.
But Jughead's weird. He cares about food. He doesn't like girls, and he wants to watch the news.
Yeah. Although I'm thinking maybe what kind of show did Jughead watch? I guess the news. So
Yeah,
everybody
it's
knows
something
the
weird,
news.
So anyway,
If you use a Green Acres or something like that,
then it dates it to a specific
Yeah.
time. And Archie tries to be timeless or,
Mhm.
kind of blend into whatever time it's published. So
You should have said Josie and the Pussycats. I guess.
yeah.
that'd
Except they know them.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
in their
someone
same
watch
world.
it.
But
I don't
anyway,
know if you had a TV show, I'd watch it. Hey,
right.
my buddy has a TV show. Yay, that's cool. Yeah, let's
But
go mock him
but
mercilessly.
does Josie and the Pussycats have a TV show in the Archieverse, or is it just they
Ooh,
have a cartoon because they were an Archie comic?
yeah. Oh, you're getting too deep, man.
Oh, sorry.
So Jughead's really, really mad.
Yeah.
So and Archie closes the door. So then he hears somebody in the back, and he thinks it's Jughead. So he gets a pail of water and is going to splash him with it.
Yeah.
But it's not Jughead. It's Veronica and Reggie. They go in the back, and Veronica is doused with water, and she's really mad because it messed up her hair. And
Yeah.
oh, yeah, man. So Veronica hits him on top of the head with a bucket.
Yeah.
And
And storms off.
yeah, Archie's got a headache. Reggie eats with him because, hey, I don't have to pay for her food. So,
Yeah.
rich guy, geez.
Jughead sneaks in after all, and Betty is not happy.
Right, poor Betty.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called failsafe, unless it's meant ironically. Because Archie definitely failed.
Yeah,
Big time.
right. Okay. Oh,
So the next story in this issue, it's about Chuck. Chuck the black guy. I never see Chuck have his own story.
yeah, and he's not a very good guy, isn't it?
No, he's a prankster in this, but yeah, but this story is called On the Spot.
Yeah, he's, yeah,
Chuck and
And-
Danny Bonaducci
yeah.
are in the halls,
Well, he's blonde, not redheaded.
but you know what I mean. He's got that stupid Farrah flip hair.
Yeah. Oh, I knew a lot of guys with that.
It's kind of like that medieval page almost looking. But yeah.
So, okay. Who's this girl here?
The gal, she's a teacher's assistant or so, new teacher.
Yeah. She's a daughter of our new AP. So I think she is just a kid,
Oh, okay.
and her father is a assistant principal.
Yes, that's
And
right.
so he tries to scare her. So look, there's a ghost writing on the wall, vengeance, and trying to scare her. And so
Turns out he was just writing on the wall with butter, which is a weird utensil.
yeah. And then it comes back, and what? Yeah, I don't understand the butter thing and why anybody would be interested in it. But then
But she's supposed to be really superstitious, and so he thought he was going to prank her.
because she's Spanish, so
Oh my gosh. You
Is
think
that-
that's it?
I think that's it.
Wow. That's bad.
Yeah. So,
And then Chuck is having a big old laugh about it because she gets spooked. But then he sees it written on the wall. It says detention. She told her father, and he wasn't too happy
he
about
looks
it.
like Gabe Kaplan.
Yes, he does. From Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Damn, what an awful show that is.
yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed it so much as a kid. I went back to watch it. Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Carter, this show sucks. Ooh, man.
I love the opening theme for that, with the shot of like
Welcome
over the
back,
train and the trellis. I like that a lot, but yeah, it's not a good show. So here's
Hey,
a
John Travolta a star, though.
terrible. Well, Travolta, it depends on what it is. My dad calls him John Revolting.
Yeah, I have a friend who says that. He's been in some very good stuff.
Yes. But he's also been in
Face
some
Off is wonderful. They have a
Face Off. I mean, it's for just an action movie, that's not supposed to be cerebral. That is a good movie.
that's kind of cool. I mean, John
that's-
Woo is a god. He's made some.
Oh, is it a John Woo movie?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's probably why it's good.
hmm
He made Nick Cage do something well.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage, here's the thing: Nick Cage is a good actor. He's crazy, and he does so many bad movies now.
Yeah, I guess he likes eating. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Hmm.
weird, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about their next story.
Little Jinx, Water Boy.
Yeah, Little Jinx usually doesn't have more than just a 1 or 2 pager, but this goes on for several pages. So
Her friend Fat Charlie is playing a prank on her with a
divining rod,
yeah. No, it's dowsing rod, isn't it?
divining rod.
Okay. And
Both terms may be used. I'm not sure, but
yeah. And she's looking for water, and he sprays her with her water gun, which is, I think, is a very good joke. But then
Yeah.
little Jinx gets her revenge.
what does she do to Charlie?
It's kind of complicated. She puts a hole in the wall in a fence post and look in here. And Fat Charlie figures that out, so he goes around, sees there's a hose, and he sees little Jinx waiting on him.
Right. He didn't get tricked by her hole in the fence. He's hiding in the bushes, and then
she comes back and she waters the bush, and he's behind it. So
he gets wet.
yeah, and there's a umbrella saying "Gotcha."
Yeah, there was a package that says for Fat Charlie. He opens it up, and there's an umbrella.
Yeah,
it says "Gotcha."
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Mr. Weatherby has a story. It's called Smile Guile. And what is his deal in this story?
All these bad things happen. He gets run into. The cafeteria kitchen is out of whack, so all they want to eat is cold bologna for the next week. There's an explosion.
And he's trying to just brush it all off and be like, "Oh, we're fine. It's fine," you know.
Yeah. He goes in and he screams.
In his office, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we have, one more story in this issue?
Mm-hmm.
It's called 1 Horsepower.
Yeah. All right. Archie gets us, takes a horse carriage with a horse, and takes it. He's going to take him over to Pop Tate's. I guess he's just borrowing it.
Okay.
He shows the girls, and they're really excited, but because they've never ridden in a carriage before, and I would like that too. But I have too, so it's really pretty cool. We have Midge and Betty and Veronica, and they're all super excited and fetching looking.
Of course.
And this is Reggie's got the '70s hair. He's got the sideburns and the little ducktail thing.
Yeah.
So Reggie being Reggie, and he cuts the leads of the horse. So when they get on the carriage, the
horse takes off
without the carriage.
And then Moose is right there, and he ain't having it.
Yeah, my girl wanted to go for a ride, and Moose makes Reggie pull the carriage, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moose is.
Moose is like the arbiter of justice against Reggie.
Or the
Think about
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
That's the second time he's gotten mad at Reggie.
And it won't be the last.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the girls are enjoying it. Reggie's not. Oh man! All right. That was a good ending to the Archie.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see you in the funny pages later.